Things you must know about yourself. Quite a number of people do not pay attention to who they are, their person. You just wake up every morning, run through life, and tens of years just pass you by. Every decade you discover new things, but you don't pay so much attention. And so it's important for us to actually bring it to you and have you draw your attention to those critical areas that you must know about yourself, things you must pay maximum attention to about yourself. And of course, I get to this point and I just say, Dr. Precious.
When I thought about this topic, the first thing that came to my mind is in most developed countries, talking about the United States of America, Israel, the United Kingdom, what they do is that when a child is growing up, they study these things I'm about to talk about in that child. And then they are able to pinpoint what the child will become. My kids went through something like that. So at some point, you study them. There are a couple of children I've also done that with. The United Nations Gifted and Talented Association, which I'm privileged to be an ambassador for. So they look into these children, they study their innate characteristics, their behavioral pattern, and then they decide what field will they feature in most and what would they become. But in this part of the world, what we do is the profession we love so much, we tell our children, this is what you will become. We impose
on them.
We
tell them,
become a doctor.
I desire.
You will become a lawyer. And if they say I desire, it's different. Some will tell them, you're going to become a pilot. And the boy is scared of heights. And you're still telling him to become a pilot. It doesn't work that way.
No. Or you make him it becomes a civil engineer.
So 7 things you need to know about yourself. And Tommy, do you know that we are always interested in knowing so many things about so many people? And we really do not understand so much about ourselves.
We don't pay attention to ourselves.
And that for me, that's like a diminishing return. Because taking time to talk about other people and not investing time to identify yourself is a bankruptcy of wisdom. Let me say it this way. Knowing about yourself is actually the beginning of wisdom. There's a level you get. You don't need to be a doctor to understand your health. There's a level you get, you know what works.
You know what works for you.
Let me give you a simple example. I, for one, I know there are some, if I have flu, for example, I know some drugs that works for flu that will not work for me. I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying. I don't want to call names now, but I know some drugs. They are actually
just
for
never
flu,
work.
It won't work with my system.
They will just never work.
But immediately I take the one that resonates with my body, I recover immediately. And that helps you understand that there are things you must know. You see, self-awareness is an essential part of life. The more you know about yourself, the more your tendency to becoming successful. So these 7 things are as follows. Number 1, what are your strengths? You need to understand your strength.
Do you mean things like I can lift a 50 kg?
No, it's not all about physical strength.
Okay.
It's not all about physical strength. Knowing what you excel in. You know, there are things you love to do even without getting paid for it.
It just makes you
things
happy to
do them. You do it without supervision, with little or no supervision. You do it excitedly.
And you don't struggle to deliver.
You don't struggle to. That's where efficiency and effectiveness comes in. Your strength. This is so very important. Number 2, what are your weaknesses? And I want to say something very important here. You may pretend to everyone that you don't have a weakness, but don't lie to yourself. The beginning of failure is having a deceptive intuition about yourself.
You know, you can actually be deceived about everybody else.
But
when
you
it comes to you,
about yourself.
When it comes to you, don't deceive yourself.
True.
When you live in deception, you're likely to arrive at nowhere.
Very true.
It's just like a boat put in the water
without direction,
and then being tossed around by the wind. The wind blows it this way, it just goes there. The wind blows it this way. Directionless, totally directionless.
And you see, success in life doesn't always come by being just aware of your strength. You must know the opposite, which
the
is
weakness.
your weakness. Do you know there are people who cannot achieve what God has actually marked them to achieve because of these weaknesses? And if you don't identify it on time, it may actually deter you. So that's why it's important we look inward. What is that thing that when it comes, I can't just get myself together? For some people, it's money. For some, it's women. Some is alcohol. When anything enters their hand, they drink to stupor.
They just can't stand not drinking. They can't stand not doing the extra. Yeah. And it's a vice. You know, most times they tell you, what's your vice? Somebody said to me one day, I think it was an interview of some sort. The person looked at me and said, what's your vice? And I looked at the person. I smiled. He said, no, everybody has a vice, must have a vice. And I said, yeah, I know what my vices are. And so when I started making mention of this, I said, okay, I just wanted to know. You're one of those people who live in denial.
But let me tell you something, Thomason. You see, these things I'm talking about, that's why I said 7 things you need to know about yourself. It's also wisdom for you to understand that manipulative people will always want to know your weakness so they can use it against you.
Very true.
So you need to be very intellectual and intentional about the informations about yourself that you dispense to people.
That you actually give out to people.
Yes, because you
see... For example, you're looking for a job and you love to sleep. And then they ask you, what are your weaknesses?
And you say you love to sleep, you won't get that job.
And you say, sleeping.
You know, that's why...
Or they ask you, what are your hobbies? What's your hobby? What are the things that you really love to do? And you say, I love to sleep. I love to watch
movies
TV.
On YouTube.
I love to watch movies. I love to... So how much time do you spend really on social media? Oh, I'm always on social media. Every time of the day. And also, you've lost the job even before you even applied.
Very true.
You've lost the job.
That's why, if you remember, I told you some time ago, my professor used to say, maturity is the ability not to lie and not to tell the whole truth. You get to a level, you just understand how to draw the line.
You just draw the line.
You tell yourself.
You know the people that you keep some information from and the people that you tell.
That's why selective conversation is always important. And I tell people, it's very good when you're asked a question, whether directly or indirectly, think about it.
Before you answer.
You know, Apostle Paul said, when I was a child, I speak as a child, I understood as a child, then I talked as a child. You know, and that's the characteristics of being a child.
Very true.
You speak before you understand, and then you start thinking.
And then he said, but when I became that's why they ask a lot of questions.
Yeah. I threw away childish things. So you get to a point when you become an adult, what you're supposed to do is you think, and then before you speak. You don't speak and then try to understand what you have said.
What you have just said.
Number 3, what drives you or what excites you? I'm talking about your motivation. That thing that makes you want to get up in the morning. My excitement about being here is working with you. So I want to wake up in the morning regardless of how early it is. Painstakingly. Get in the shower, get in the car, drive out, beat the traffic, because we want to impact somebody. We want to bless somebody's lives. And you see, this is very important. You need to understand what motivates you. When it's not there, Monday morning becomes a very difficult time.
You're even wishing, Monday morning you wake up and you're like, oh my, can it just be Sunday again? Or can I go back to Saturday? And I guess that's one of the reasons why a lot of people say, Monday is not my day.
True.
You know, they were asking my
son.
The
motivation has gone down.
Yes, they were asking my son to do something about himself. Myself, I was learning to write composition. Okay. So, you know, write my mom, my dad, my school. So it wrote myself. And when I read through what my 5-year-old wrote, he wrote, they have to, you know, they give them questions to answer to like the article. So they said, what is your favorite day of the week? My son said, Monday. Because I love to go to school. So his teachers were surprised when, you know, we got to school and then I picked him up, you know, like 2 days later from school. And they were like, Madam, Mommy will not bring you to school. I told him, I said, you lost your face shield. I won't take you to school. I won't bring you to school. He started crying. And they were like, This one is crying because he wants to come to school.
Some are crying because they don't want to go to school.
What kind of... His own teacher now said, oh, if you read his composition, he said his best time is Monday and he loves to come to school. So, you know, it's so funny when you inculcate such a thing in a child from when they're little, they get used to it. So when I see an adult telling me that Mondays are not just my days, Monday is the day I like to sleep at home.
There's no motivation.
It's motivation. That's the day everybody, whether you like it or not, it's the first working day of the week. So
sure. Everybody
gets to put their lives in perspective on Monday, you know, set targets for the week of Monday. And then you now tell me it's not your day. Something is fundamentally wrong with you.
That's true. And you see, applying the things that makes you happy to your life per time is what will motivate you. So find out that thing that makes you happy in the midst of your assignment and just keep doing it to motivate yourself. This is so important. Number 4, your stressors and healers. So many people are not aware there's something called stressors. Your stressors are the things that brings stress, the things that gives you stress. Knowing the activities that stress you and trying to abstain from them is wisdom. There are some people they can't, like myself. One of my biggest stressor is traffic. That's why I have a DVD in my car. So when I drive, no matter the traffic, I could see a movie. I detest traffic. So I tell myself the best way to beat traffic and to be unstressed or not to be stressed is to get out early. So if I'm going anywhere, I want to get out really early so I can beat that traffic. You really need to know your stressors and your healers. Now the healer talks about stress response. You see what you respond with when you're stressed.
Traffic is a problem, so you solve it, remove it,
and then peradventure you're bored or you're stressed already or you're down. The antidote is Brother Shaggy for me. So I go on Instagram, I check on Brother Shaggy,
and then you laugh,
and then I laugh my heart out,
and I'm
the
back. Stress goes.
You see what I'm talking about? So it's important you know yourself. You understand, because
in cases where your stressor is a person,
then you need to intentionally, if the person is your partner, then you need to understand the tactic to handle that relationship. Because let me tell you this, Tomisi, in the energy of being stressed, positive thinking cannot be achieved.
Very true.
When you're stressed, your productivity reduces, your mental faculty production reduces.
Actually, you don't even believe.
And then at that point, you tend to react more. That's why they talk about when you're looking for a job, they talk about, can you work under pressure? They're looking at this. Are you able to work under pressure? For me, I remember the last organization I was actively involved with. When everyone is stressed and it's their evening time, that's when I get everyone is getting down. Shocking, right? But that's how it works. You need to, if you must accomplish something in life, you need to be willing to go the extra mile, and that will make you extraordinary. Number 5, family medical history. If you want to be anything in life, you need to understand your family medical history. You know, in medical science, they will tell you we are what our genetics say we are. We are what our genetics say we are. And you know, there are family vulnerabilities. There are families whereby it varies. There are families whereby they have eyesight problems, eye problems. So you find glaucoma in the family or cataract in the family, and then it goes from this child and then to this child and then to this uncle, and you need to understand it, and prevention is better than cure.
Very true.
Early detection is also
when you begin to see
helpful.
My eyes, then you begin to pay much more attention,
and then you start checking. It's also very helpful. So you need to look at these things. My brother, my sister, it's not that okay, a family member has this problem, then you must have it. No. But there is what they call the family medical history. You need to understand patterns.
If it becomes a pattern in your family, if For example, if high blood pressure becomes a pattern in your family, you can pinpoint 5 people in the generation
with
above
that condition.
you with that condition. You can maybe pinpoint 1 or 2 in your generation that has it. That means it's a pattern, which means you must actively prevent such.
Very true.
If glasses is a problem, then you must actively also work on it. You know, for example, my family, a lot of people use glasses in my family.
Okay.
Almost all my siblings used to wear glasses. So now the girls decided we're not going to wear glasses by taking care, you know, being intentional about what we put in our mouth, what we eat, how we stress our eyes, and all. Now, my siblings who wear glasses have been wearing glasses from when they were little. You get it? They actually been wearing from when they were little. Now they are older, they are also now doing much more to care for their eyes. Like on a regular basis, they're always checking and stuff. So that, now coincidentally, my sister, her son has the same condition. So he's already wearing glasses from little, and he's already wearing a really, really serious glasses.
Because it's in the genes.
Because it's in the genes. So, for example, for someone like me, I say, don't give that child Gary. You know, don't
Cold
give that child
water.
Gary.
Avoid it.
Avoid cold water. Avoid him staring at the
Television very close.
Distance from the television.
Sure.
You know, those are some of the things, measures you can put in place.
Sure.
Because you are trying as much as possible to end this particular pattern. You don't want to continue with a pattern that you can end.
Yeah.
You can work on it, so why not? Then there are supplements that boost the eyes.
That's so true. That's
You
so
know,
true.
there are supplements, so you can as well preempt it, and then you can work on it.
And you see all these changes benefits you to help improve the long-term health of your life.
Very true.
And this is so very,
Very
crucial.
true.
Number 6, know your life's purpose. Know your life's purpose.
So
You
that's
see,
one thing that most people get confused with.
about, and this is very clear. If you don't know where you're going, anywhere may look like it. Imagine you get to the bus stop and you say, I'm going anywhere. You will arrive at nowhere.
Very true.
Because you have no destination.
Imagine
And
you wake up in the morning, you board a bus, they say, where are you going? Where are you going? You say,
Anywhere.
last bus stop. And you get to the last bus stop. And the conductor tells you, Oga, get down now. So you get down and then you look around and say, where am I? They tell you where you are. And then you join another bus to say, where are you going? You say, last bus stop. So by the time you finish your day, you find yourself in practically nowhere.
But that's the definition of a madman.
But people do it.
You know you're spending money.
Yes, but people do it. People actually do it. You've not heard somebody tell you before that, do you know I just got to the bus stop and you felt like going out and I just found myself in Malaga. You've not heard it before. You know, somebody has said it to me before and I just said to the person, you need to check yourself into a mental hospital.
Mental health.
You need to check yourself into a mental hospital because you don't go out of your house in the morning without a destination in mind.
Person is therapy.
You need therapy. So if you start feeling like, let me just go out with no destination in mind, get to see a psychiatrist. Something is fundamentally wrong with your brain. Somewhere. And it's the truth. And you know, most people do not even like to hear this because it looks like mental health is a taboo.
No, it's not. You see, it's the way they have made it look in this part of the world. So they
It's
think
not.
if they say you have a mental health problem, it means you're mad. But
Every
no,
rich man has a psychiatrist. Sorry. The
most
way
of
they
them.
have personal doctors,
True.
they have the personal surgeon, they have the personal, if peradventure he has eye problem, he has a personal optician, he has a personal PD for his children, he has PD for this, and he has a psychiatrist. Because most times you are under pressure because of the kind of position you occupy. You need to unburden yourself from time to time.
And the things you allow into your mind over a period of time
Gets to sow a
gets
seed
to
there.
make
Become
up
a tree.
your mindset. Yeah, so you need to be conscious of it. And you see, finding something to live for is what will actually make you live long. Finding something to live for
Will actually make you live long.
So you
Very
need to
true.
actually stand for something so you don't fall for anything. And this is very crucial. You see, the beauty of an aircraft is not in the hangar, is on the sky. The beauty of a ship is not in the harbor, is in the sea. The beauty of the car is not in the garage, is on the road. So the beauty of your existence is not in sitting down, lying fallow, doing nothing. Go add value to somebody's life. Go do something. Get out there, discover why you were created, and work at it.
Until you get there.
You see, not everybody will make it in life through education. We really need to balance that. There are those who may not have gone through school, but they have learned something that has made them to become powerful and wealthy. And you get what I'm talking? Look at R.G. Letonio. R.G. Letonio was expelled from school. He formed the earthen materials used in fighting the World War. And this guy was chased out of school because of mathematics. He later opened a school and taught mathematics in his school. The subject they chased him away for. I don't know if you understand what I'm talking about.
I get you.
He was so successful, but yet he started as a mechanic. And he became so successful. Look at Henry Haynes. Henry Haynes was chased out of school and then he went to the farm. So when you see the Haynes ketchup and the Haynes cream and the rest.
And everybody's buying it.
Started from somewhere. So it's not necessary that you just have to put your head somewhere and keep hitting it and make sure you... No. There's more to
And
that.
the last one.
The last, number 7, your love language. You see, just like they say God is love, life is characterized with love. Whether you like it or not, you are connected, you are related, and you are associated with people. And as long as you live, you keep interacting with people. So your love language is so important, because love language is the term that describes the way you speak to people and relate to them emotionally. And there are 5 love languages. Number 1, act of service. Number 2, physical touch. Number 3, receiving gifts. Number 4, words of affirmation. And finally, number 5, quality time. You need to understand which one resonates with you.
More with you.
Yeah, because this will actually help you identify your needs in a relationship and how you relate to people. Because let's be honest, life is about relationship.
Very true. And your life, the quality of life that you even live, depends on the quality of relationships you've been able to build.
That's deep. That's deep. Or
I should tell you. We need to take a break. Coming up next.